use the process facilitation method for the participants to actually have a meaningful conversation. So what is the outcome? So what of facilitative leadership? This is some of the research work that has been done. Increases the quality of decisions. Because sometimes if you see in group then we do a lot of brainstorming. We have ideas, and then we select it very quickly. And we cluster, and we select. But in our work at facility, we say don't cluster. So the best form of getting the best decision is to spend equal time in divergent thinking, that means coming back with all the ideas, and convergent thinking, selecting the best ideas from the group collectively. So we need to spend balanced time, yeah? Increase commitment, reduce time for effective implementation, improve working relationship, organizational learning, and personal satisfaction. Another framework, the human deal framework, they are also researchers. They did the study, Gartner report 2023, talks about, employees intend to seek more value and purpose at work. This is what I believe humane entrepreneurship can provide at the workplace, if implemented correctly. Yeah, and of course, they say facilitative leadership is one of the best types of leadership that can cater for these changing needs. Another professor, which I had connected with, Dr. Michael Kavanagh, is a coaching psychologist. He said, the quality of conversation determines the quality of relationship. And the quality of relationship determines the quality of the organizational system and processes. So the way I see it, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to implement humane entrepreneurship effectively, it's part of our system, right? So we need to have a quality system, we need to have quality relationship. And in order to have that quality relationship, we need to have quality in our conversation. It just, a lot of time we have this problem with conversation. Yeah. So this quality of conversation can be actually enhanced through process facilitation and coaching culture. And sometimes I've heard, sometimes when I work in Malaysia, that part, South Asia, they say, "Oh, Sean, this collective conversation and facilitation is of the Western world." I say, no. If you actually look at the history of the East, I did not a scientific study, but just going through, we have had collective decision making in China and Korea. Now I was reading, you had collective decision making in this part of the world as well. And we had in South Asia, the Panchayat, the Grand Sahabat concept, and of course in the Malay archipelago was the Sultanate system, tribal councils. In down south, Australia, Aboriginals, yeah, group processes. Then you had the Middle East, you had the tribal council, the concept of Shura. Of course, the Quakers, they had a policy of non-hierarchical decision making. And of course, Native American. So it's already there in the past. We just have to have the right process. So I'm going to share a case study reflecting upon humane entrepreneurship. This is about Kian. It's an intelligent furniture solution provider catering to commercial residents since 1983. They established in 30 countries. It's a Malaysian company, Malaysian-born company. And as I said, this guy James, we went to school together. We know each other since we were 13 years old. Yeah. So the only thing when Prof. Kichan asked me to do, I don't know which company to select. So the only thing, because I wrote about him in my book, Leading with Purpose and Passion, I asked his permission whether I can share about him in this forum. He said, go ahead. Yeah. So he said, success is no longer just financial. It's about creating a company with heart. Okay. So envisioning, I'm talking about the 10 E's and trying to relate. Yeah, his purpose-driven mantra is a better me, a better we, a better world. James was in crisis earlier, about in the 1990s. That's why he told me, Sean, I was a hero, went to zero, and came back as a hero again. And one thing he did differently this time, becoming a hero, is paying attention to his people. Earlier, he said it was all profit-driven. And I thought this was a great story to share here. And he's energized. His passion comes from when he's developing other leaders. Yeah, and he becomes energized. Exploring continuously challenging his own mindset and his old mindset. And that led him to fresh perspective in his business. Experimental, he's got this, I did, but maybe 10 years ago or so, I did a program for his leaders, with the leading with purpose and passion. And one of the things that, he started this leadership circle. This is about continuously sharing, and I think collective learning. Yeah, collective learning. So that is about experimentation, execution. He doesn't talk. He turns words into action. Yeah, and ensuring meaningful impact. The ecosystem continuously. Okay, you talk about furniture manufacturing. We talk about, are you cutting down more trees? I mean, one of the first thing. And we are not only talking about the sustainability development goals, but he's also talking about business ecosystem. How do we create that and sustain that? Enablement. He's got his leadership academy. And now, this year, I met him a few weeks back. He's creating a university, a furniture university. And guess what? He's employing all his employees who have retired. Maybe they are 60 plus years old, 70 years old, because the company has been existing for 40 years, bringing them back into the university to share their wisdom. Yeah. And I think it's not only about while they are here, what happens after they have left. Because he's still thinking about the people. He's bringing the expertise back. Empowerment. I've seen him at work where he empowers his people, yeah, and giving them responsibility and recognition. Shared leadership with ethical responsibility, yeah, because when we want to create a balanced human, it's all about, are we providing enough sense of security for the people that we serve to lead, or are we giving enough significance to the people we serve to lead? So I always ask questions. I ask leaders the question. I ask myself this question. So this is a model from Professor Dr. Leonard Yong, who is also one of the advisors earlier with Harvard University. And he said, to be well in the pneuma or the spirit, you need to fulfill this emotional need. People must be feeling secure, people must be feeling significant. Then you will have the wellness in the mind. And when people are well in the mind, they will demonstrate the right behaviors. When they're not well in the mind, stressed, they will demonstrate behaviors that is not acceptable. That depends on the personalities that they are living. Equity, fairness, values all employees. I've seen him in action, the way he takes care of the employees. Yeah. He ensures that leadership was not just to select a few, but anyone willing to grow and continue, and he provides the support. Empathy. During his crisis time, that's where James hardship, during that hardship, he deepens in empathy and, giving him, while reflecting, leading him to adopt facilitative leadership. So he shifted from control to support, prioritizing positive work environment. Again, they are making sure that employees feel valued, not only about the revenue. Yeah. So this is something that I said. Leading in the digital world, let's embrace high tech and focus on high touch. Because I believe, my personal opinion, the human to human connection in this digital world is slowly drifting. We can use high tech to help us with that. So I always tell, do not, talk about how bad AI is or how bad. No. Let's embrace that. Let's embrace that and make that work for us. Because even behind a most powerful computer in the world is a human being. So what is the process? So I thought about it and I said, okay, from knowing to doing, the suggested process. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of work to be done in this area, but this is just my suggestion. I say, follow the HEART. I use the HEART acronym. Human Entrepreneurship Readiness Survey, which I think you all have already. How do you measure the human entrepreneurship readiness? Is the organization ready? And if that's ready, after the 10 E's, what is the gap? Evaluate survey results, design strategic intervention. So what does that data What story does the data tell us from the readiness survey? And then let's activate. Sometimes we talk and talk and talk, we do not start. It's okay, let's start. And if we fail, we learn from it and move forward. Somebody told me FAIL means first attempt in learning. So let's continuously to learn. Yeah, we are in this world at this level is because we are continuously learning from failure. And one of the things about entrepreneurship is they take risks. It's okay, we dare to fail. And review progress, and last, transform culture and tell the story. We need to tell the story to the whole world. We need to tell not only to the whole world, start from inside. The stories need to be told at every level so that people get connected to the story. Because that's what fuels the passion to drive us to achieve the purpose of the organization or team. So this is a little bit of detail. Later, I will share all this with the team, and then you can have that handout. Yeah. Just to, I mean, every step here has got more work to be done. We need to go very, very detailed. Yeah. Again, in all these stages, I am still recommending let's use coaching style of leadership and let's facilitate conversation at every level. Because quality in conversation determines the quality of relationship. People get clarity in what they are doing or what they need to do. Yeah. So we need to do that, and especially in activate. Sometimes people go into the meeting and say, okay, let's do this, let's do this. Everybody's happy. They go back and they start questioning who is to do what. And then we end up, oh, I thought you were supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do this. Not clear. Align HR practices. Again, review. That is in any project. This is another project, right? It's not rocket science. It's just like implementing any kind of initiative in organization. Yeah, just that I got interested in the acronym HEART because we're talking about HEART. Yeah, celebrate milestone. Sometimes I've seen that I made that same mistake. Sometimes we are successful, but we don't celebrate. Yeah, don't celebrate enough. And I believe the future of business is humane, ethical, and purpose-driven. The companies that embrace humane entrepreneurship will not only thrive, but will succeed. I believe in this. I believe in this. And as I said, we need to embrace high tech with high touch. So I created this by using AI. It's a song about we lead with heart. So if I can, and you can see the 10 E's embedded in this song. Chasing golden gain. You can see how we choose a different path. Kindness leads the way. It's not just what we build, it's how we make it grow. Empathy and equity, we let the whole world know. With heart, not just the line, but with guiding every sign. Empowerment and trust in strong. This is the soul of the modern home. Business done with where people and they play our part in changing the world. With heart. It's not a dream, it's what can be an ecosystem built on dignity, where execution means moving to keep and hopeful soul. With heart, not just the light, purpose guiding every step. Teams for towns for all who strive, we're building futures that come alive. Today at the core, we play our part, changing the world.
Rise and lift and always share. Humane entrepreneurs, we're lighting spark. With vision and love, we lead with heart.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Excellent. Yeah. The most essential to apply our concept to business is heart, I think. Actually, until now, the Dr. Lawrence, who is a professor at the George Mason, is in charge of heart. Correct? So he is developing survey questionnaire for measuring the TEMI. So you have the questionnaire. So then the Lawrence, any recommend, or then you need to collaborate with him to make the standard over. Yeah. Any comment?
Any questions?
Okay.
Anybody?
Yeah. Dr. Lawrence first. Okay.
For the surveys, for the most part, we had trouble before with Google Forms, so we put it under SurveyMonkey so that it's a lot easier. I'm wondering if SurveyMonkey is accessible in your countries or if there's any other survey form that's preferred. Just curious.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
SurveyMonkey is okay. What about for the other participants? Is SurveyMonkey accessible?
Yeah,
What about
accessible,
him?
of course, yeah, in China.
Okay.
So that's
So,
Lawrence, actually, but the technique, the measurement of variable is a little different from
yes.
us. So he has a lot of experience to apply this kind of concept to the business. So you can make an adjustment for business people. Okay, Dr. Shan, the hard approach.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So
Thank
you
you.
can give us some more, yeah. Then you read our measurement.
Yeah.
10 year.
Yeah.
You have.
I don't have.
Okay, the Lawrence, give our measurement to him, and then you heard. So then you can make adjustment, and you can give advice to him. For
And we can test it out
Yeah.
and see what happens.
heart, very interesting. Okay, excellent. Yeah. Any other question to Mr. Pan, Professor Pan?
Thank you for your presentation, Dr. Shan. Nice meeting you. And also while we are drinking coffee, I asked you what is the difference the leadership and the entrepreneurship. Actually, my master degree is topic is leadership, but I need to the Professor Kim Gi-chan and Lerunte influenced me. Also the Professor John, and then entrepreneurship. So my topic is changing the entrepreneurship. So actually now I am considered what is the difference the leadership and entrepreneurship. There is some differences and also same things, common things. So let me ask you, what is the difference and the common things, and then the leadership and especially the human leadership, human-centered leadership.
Human consideration. Maybe I'll go into the front there. As I mentioned, the way I see it, leaders need to have an entrepreneurship mindset. So the common thing is, I believe, they take risk. They're curious in everything that they do. An entrepreneur is always exploring new opportunities. Leaders do explore new opportunities and how to bring their team, because the team is trusting them. The team is trusting them whatever they do. So, and being courageous, being like entrepreneurs, those are some of the common things I see. So for me, leaders must have an entrepreneur mindset to help them. Yeah. The difference, maybe a leader might not be in a business or owning a business, but is supporting a cause. Cause here for me is the cause of the organization, the organizational vision and mission. How do they lead the team. So again, leading for me doesn't have to be always in front. It can also facilitative leader, because in agricultural era, people were pulling the team. And then we went into manufacturing era, where we became great supervisors. I tend to believe that the word supervision comes from having supervision to look for mistakes of people in the manufacturing era, zero defect, and there was a time that we only look at mistakes of people. And now in the current knowledge era, where knowledge is everywhere, leaders need to facilitate. But as an entrepreneur, some of the difference is entrepreneur is always in front, creating new things. After creating, he needs to be more of a facilitator in driving those goals. So that's what I see. Some common and because I see myself as an entrepreneur coming out, from an organization and building my organization for 25 years. Am I leading? Yeah, I think I'm leading. I'm leading all the time. Looking at new things, new way of doing things. I'm not sure whether I answered your question, but that's the way I see it. And human-centered leadership is always having the human at your heart before we do anything, including policies, including everything. But this has to be a balance, because sometimes when you are so human-centered, it can be seen as a weakness. And because as leaders, as I said earlier from the 7 C's, courage to be directive. Not all the time. Not all the time we facilitate conversation to make decisions. For example, there's a fire in the basement. Do you want to have a team discussion? No. Go and put out the fire. Later we'll have a conversation how to prevent fires. So a facilitative leader doesn't mean every time we are facilitating conversation to make decisions. There are times we need to have the courage to reprimand. And not to, I call the term, to always have, I'm a human-centered leader, meaning that your behaviors might lead you to look for cheap popularity. As a leader, you want to be famous because you only want to deliver good things, what people want to hear, but not the truth. So when we continuously lead people, I think truth is something that we all need to look at.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Shan, finally, we need you for the most essential to apply our concept to business is hard. So the measurement based on your experience. Hopefully, you can do more.
Thank you, Pratim. I'm honored.
Okay.
Again, I'm not into this, so I need a lot of guidance. But what we can also do is to find if any. I will find that in Malaysia, if we can find an organization, maybe an SME, an organization who's interested in implementing human entrepreneurship. We'll start with the hard model.
You apply.
I'll talk to Lawrence, and we'll see how we can measure it. And I'll tell them, let's do it, and see where you are. And we'll give I don't know, 6 months, 1 year, I don't know, and measure again and see where we are.
Okay. Actually, the price, I know Lawrence is a genius.
Oh, great. I think geniuses.
Kind of a genius too. Actually, he is expert for measurement, especially.
Great.
So he has a lot of consulting experience at the US consulting company. What company? Ernst & Young consulting company. Okay, so then he has experience in Philippines. So please collaborate.
Thank you. I need that because when it comes to measurement instrument, even during my PhD, I was struggling. So it's good to have.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, good. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then we have 2 more presentations. Then Dr. Ram, are you ready? Dr. Ram? Okay. Bonawati?
Yes, Professor Kim.
Dr. Ram, okay, then you are going to have time.
Yes.
For your
okay, let me share my screen first.
Okay. So then I'm going to introduce Dr. Ram. Dr. Ram is was the dean of a business school at the Helper University. Now, currently in charge of a Humane Entrepreneurship Center at the Helper University. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Professor Kim, and dear esteemed guests, experts, ladies and gentlemen. We are very honored to be here to share some very simple background of Help University. Help started about 40 years ago, and we have since evolve. We first started as higher education learning program, providing twinning with the University of London in Malaysia. And about 15 years later, we evolved into higher education learning philosophy, having our own universities, providing our own degrees. And now with the help of ICSB, Jinju City, as well as experts, people like yourself, we are now evolving or aspire to evolve to the next stage of help, which is the humane entrepreneurship learning paradigm. Allow me to briefly explain the background of help, how it evolved. The co-founders borrowed US $5,000 to start with this. And how they started this is all about human beings, trying to help people who at that moment, due to the financial crisis, are not able to send their kids to overseas or even to local universities. So unlike most business where they have profit in mind, we have people in mind even before the business cycle comes in. In about 15 years later, they evolved. We achieved our university status in 2011, and we have since used higher education learning philosophy to involve more stakeholders. These are some of our involvement over the last few years. In 2014, we have started our Help International School, which is an award-winning schools in the region as well as in the world. We have many Korean students and Korean parents sending their kids to the international schools and also joining elite universities in South Korea as well as the rest of the world. We are now having produced many scholars as well as achievers around the world over the past 40 years. These are some of our alumni who have evolved and developed with us. We keep on engaging with our alumni. We keep on engaging with our international business partners. We keep on engaging with our learners as well as our colleagues. We also involve the industry players. This gentleman is the chairman of the Malaysia ESG Association of Malaysia, right? He came to help and provided us some sharing. And many other alumni like Professor Chiu, who is now working in the Chinese University in Hong Kong, who work under two the Nobel Prize winners, also kept on connecting with us until today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to spare a bit more time on how we want to evolve as aligned to the theme of today's forum, which is what, how, and why. We intend, with the help of Professor Kim, as well as esteemed guests like yourself and Mr. Jack as well. We have met Mr. Jack about 2 years. He has came to help university, giving some his sharing of his background with our postgraduate learners. We intend to move into humane entrepreneurship learning paradigm. I'll spend a little bit more time on this, and I'll also show you a short video on some of the projects that we intend to do. And finally, I would also like to invite one of our co-founders, Professor Dato Paul, who is kind enough to come online to share some of his personal journey having humane entrepreneurship on the first day of the setting of this organization. A few weeks ago, Mayor Joe from Jinju City came to help university, as well as Professor Kim, and help us to launch this in-depth collaboration on humane entrepreneurship. So we aim to be the platform, not only in Malaysia, but around the region as well as the world, to work, collaborate with ICSB, collaborate with Jinju City, collaborate with all stakeholders like yourself to bring on humane entrepreneurship to the next level. Few weeks ago, the mayor of Jinju as well as the chairman of ICSB have provided this certification to our co-founders, the Human-Centered Jinju K Entrepreneurship Award, which was given end of last year. These are some of our events that we have been doing over the past few years. that we have not only talking about humane entrepreneurship, but we have been acting on it. And I'll show you one real key examples. Of course, we have thousands of events linking to this. We sponsors, regardless of race, regardless of culture, regardless of countries of origin, we support them based on our mission. Professor Dato Paul has also shared during the recent Jinju City Partnership Forum in Kuala Lumpur. There are many projects that we aim to provide second chances and opportunities for people to excel, which is in line with the vision and mission of Help University. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, due to time constraint, I will not have time to share the many interesting and very touching moments of humane entrepreneurship projects that Help University, the co-founders, and the team have done over the past few years. We have indeed only chosen one of this, and this started in 2008. In the year 2008, China witnessed one of the deadliest earthquakes in the history of China, the second largest. Around close to 70 people died, more than 300 people was injured, and close to 11 million people who have affected in one way or another. Now, what we're trying, of course, we are not here to preach theories and so on. What we as Help University or the Center of Humane Entrepreneurship, we believe, as all the speakers have mentioned earlier, we believe action talks louder than words. And within days, our co-founder, Professor Dato Paul, and a small team of his flew down to China, right, to the place where the earthquake happened, and they donated close to US $2 million to help some of the family members, the students who were affected by the earthquake. And we also sponsored close to around 10 students per year since 2008 to undergo their studies at Help University. Many of these students, right, without the assistance from Help University, they will be trapped in poverty and in whatever they were at that moment. Today, I'm very happy and I'm very glad to share that we have graduated many of these students, even though we have done, as I mentioned, Help University is not as large as some multinationals who have a lot of money that we can spare. But having said that, having human people in mind, having human as the center of philosophy that we do in everything. The team took out whatever we can afford, flew down to China. At that time, it was very difficult to get a lot of clearance, a lot of internal processes to be filled up, as any organizations have to. But because the drive was to help people in China, regardless of their culture, regardless of their background, we managed to graduate many of them undergrads. Some of them did our masters, and one of them is still doing our doctoral programs, which I contacted him. He promised he will continue to finish his doctoral program with us, and he was also very grateful for Help University to be able to provide him and his family. By the way, his wife also was from Tujiayan, and she was also part of the classmates of this person. So these are many real humane entrepreneurships that we have done. And those of you who are interested, you can go to our website, and if you can see from our website, we do empower not only students, not only colleagues, but we try to empower the society as a whole, like yourself here, and to try to achieve the same common goals as us. So without further ado, I will now like to invite Professor Dato Paul Chan, co-founder of Help University, to share some of this very deep and personal humane entrepreneurship journey with all of you. Thank you very much for your time, Dr. Paul.
Dr. Paul, welcome.
Maybe while waiting for Dr. Paul, I'll just also share one video that we have done
Okay.
Thank you. Dr. Paul, the floor is yours. Thank you very much, everyone.
Can you hear me, Prof. Nam?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Kim, and very distinguished academics and professionals. I'll be very brief. It is indeed a very exciting journey that we are embarking on. And to me, this whole new paradigm that we want to establish about humane education and humane entrepreneurship is a virtuous, dynamic cycle. When we start with, we have to start with education for young people, and later on, some may become entrepreneurs. So when we talk about humane education, I think there's a lot of focus on experiential learning, how we learn from all aspects about life and in the classroom using multiple intelligences, because each of us is endowed with different talents, skills, and capabilities and capacity. Later on, some of us may end up to become entrepreneurs, and the experiential learning from the learning system that we create to deliberately have this value and culture that helps to evolve a human being to become not just an entrepreneur, but an entrepreneur who has a big dream, but a bigger heart with values and other-centeredness. And in the process of becoming the new being, being, be as in becoming another type of human being in business, this is the part about experimental learning. So we have two parts here, which is interplaying and interconnected in this lifelong journey. How to understand experiential learning, to evolve into experimental learning, and from a new type of education learning system and culture to become a culture for humane entrepreneurship. And I think there is only one objective, that is to contribute as legacy builders for the collective good of mankind. So whatever we do is other-centered, to serve and to help. So how to become the doing part, the knowing part, the being part, and the having part. Do, know, be, have. Have is the transformation. So in a way, I'm reminded of Echo. I think, therefore I am. So we have to think of being a humane person before we can do the transformation. I think the second issue that I want to raise in light of the discussion this morning, I suggest that we construct a glossary or dictionary of terms and terminology that we can agree worldwide as the standards. Otherwise, if we do not have a clear understanding of skills, capabilities, abilities, competency, competencies, competence, competences, then each of us will have our own definition. But even after that, we also recognize that there are cultural differences in the way we interpret an entrepreneur and the humane part of the entrepreneurship. So I think having a construct in terms of very clear definitions, this will help us to construct measurables, how to measure cognitive behavior and emotional dimension of a humane entrepreneur. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing your experience, your idea, and your future. So then I am can I ask a question to you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, I am very glad to find your university is growing, evolving from higher education to humane entrepreneurial learning philosophy.
Yeah, this is due to your influence.
Okay, so based on this kind of the philosophy, I am interested to open the humane entrepreneurship AMP program to nurture humane leader, humane CEO, not only in Malaysia but also in the world. So then I think your university is one of the first university to establish humane entrepreneurship center. Actually, we have the Humane Entrepreneurship Center in Korea. So if we can collaborate, we can start the AMP program for humane entrepreneurship to build, to nurture the humane leader. So hopefully you are interested in the establishing AMP program online. Must be very cheap, but the more CEO you can have, the more you can achieve with this AMP program. What do you think?
Professor Kim, this is the most exciting initiative because as we discuss academically and intellectually, we should have actions to provide evidence that we are practicing what we are now trying to influence the rest of the world. So I fully support the AMP program, and we can meet and construct the platform, the contents, the mentors and coaches and so on. I think this would be a very exciting, global, inclusive exercise for everybody. So Prof. Kim, I totally support immediately.
Good. Thank you so much. Dream big, start small, move fast. This is the humane entrepreneurial thinking. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for your valuable time.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay,
Thank
to
you.
share your idea. And thank you. Okay, yeah. So
Thank you.
and give him big applause. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So now we are going to move from Malaysia to Indonesia. So then the Bonaparte Alim, who is a professor in Indonesia Catholic University, very famous university, has the longest history in Indonesia. And the Bonaparte Alim was a professor who won best paper award about humane entrepreneurship. Actually, hopefully, we can ask her to establish the online AMP program to nurture the humane CEO. in the future together. Actually, that okay. The Borawati, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
Can you hear my voice
Okay,
also?
very good, very good. Okay.
Okay,
ahead.
thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Banwati, as Professor Kim Chan mentioned before. I'm a lecturer at Parahyangan Catholic University in Bandung, Indonesia. Please welcome when you visit Indonesia. Since 2018, I have learned human entrepreneurship, of course, from the founder, Professor Kichan Kim, when he visited the ICSB event in Indonesia. And in that event, Professor Kichan Kim introduced human entrepreneurship concept, model to cycle, etc. And in 2019, in my university, we established Human Entrepreneurship Center. And since then, I try to make some paper related to human entrepreneurship, such as a paper for Egypt, ICSB World Congress, and at Korea, ICSB World Congress in 2023. Why am I so interested in human entrepreneurship? Because basically my academic background is human resource management and organization, and then also entrepreneurship. In the meanwhile, I also supervising some SMEs, especially in West Java, Indonesia. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I feel very honored to be here to share my experiences. I would like to thank Professor Kichan Kim for giving me the opportunity to join this amazing team and to collaborate with friends from various countries with the same goals, which is to establish standard for conducting human entrepreneurship practice and also research. Well, without further ado, I will start my presentations. Okay, regarding to the theme, I will discuss about what, why, how, and result. And at the end of my presentation, I also give some questions to be discussed later. As we know, human entrepreneurship defined as a virtuous and sustainable integration of entrepreneurship, leadership, and HRM, in which successful implementations lead to a beneficial increase in wealth and quality job creation perpetuated in a continuous cycle. This is come from paper of Kim, Tarabisi, and Bay in 2018. As we know, the cycle of human entrepreneurship very famous right recently, and there are 5 dimensions in people cycle: empathy, equity, empowerment, enablement, and ecosystem. As we heard before discussion from Dr. San, and the business cycle dimensions composed of envisioning, enthusiasm, exploring, experimentation, executions. Right now, I don't want to discuss more because of time about the definitions, but I have sent my definitions and also detailed indicators from my last research to Professor Kichan Kim and also to WhatsApp group. So please find there my files. So why human entrepreneurship is important? We have a lot of discuss, but as we know that entrepreneurship is increasingly recognized not only as a driver of economic growth, especially after COVID-19, but also as a pathway to achieving inclusive and sustainable development. But in these concerns, we can see the research, so many research in academic sources. Most of entrepreneurship research focus on economic outcomes such as growth or innovation. And the other side, human resource management focus on human-centered values like empowerment, ethics, and social contribution. So we need to develop measurement models integrated both economic and humanistic dimension. And Professor Kitchen Kim has done so many work and developed human entrepreneurship. And we know that human entrepreneurship promotes the simultaneous pursuit of enterprise growth and human empowerment. So based on our discussion in the morning and in the afternoon, of course, I believe and 100% assured that we agree that human entrepreneurship is a good concept and good value for better world. Then the question is how to measure human entrepreneurship. This is my ideas. We need to start what kind of objective we need to be achieved. So I propose 3 questions. First, most of ISO measurement, for example, start with the question is there any proof or any empirical data, the existence for blah, 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 blah. So I think the first questions can be started with, is the company practice human entrepreneurship? Of course, it means we need to describe first and have agreed to the definition of its dimensions. Then the answer of the questions can be yes or no answer. But if we just asking the existence, it's not enough because we have just know is there any practice or no. But if we need to go further, we have to go to next questions, the frequency and the quality. The frequency, how many companies practice human entrepreneurship, or how frequent in the company the leader gives support to innovation ideas. That's the example questions. The answer can be from always to never. Maybe you can see from many research, so many questioners give alternative answers, agree to not agree. That's the opinion. From my opinion, it's not enough if we just asking the respondent, do you agree in your company, the leader gives support to innovation ideas? Usually the statement also compose the quality of the indicators. Then we make some wrong assumptions for go to the conclusion. So I propose why we cannot use direct questions. So I propose use the answer always or never. It means if the respondent answer always, it can be show us, and for us, we are more assured that is a dimension or indicator of human entrepreneurship practice, exists, and practice frequently. If the answer is always, it means they're always there in the company. And then we can conclude that, in how many company the human entrepreneurship practice exists and practice frequently. But we can also go further, not only asking the frequency, but also the quality of the practice. So it needs a different question and of course, different alternative response. So if we need to asking the quality, how good the company practice human entrepreneurship, I propose the alternative answer about the quality itself, from outstanding, for example, to poor. So we can more assure about the quality, not only exist or not only practice frequently, but the quality. So we can mix all the questions together to make sure the measurement of human entrepreneurship practice in the company perfect. Okay, this is my research in 2023, and I also presented this paper in Korea last 2023, and I also have shared my journal in WhatsApp group, so you can have it. In my last research, I surveyed West Java SMEs and questionnaire distributed online to SMEs owners. Very easy right now. Lucky for us because of the technology and also because of COVID-19. 114 respondents finally sent back their response. And my questionnaire is about human entrepreneurship dimension, of course, and the respondent need to answer always to never, because my question is how frequent, blah, 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 blah. The higher the frequency means the organization implement human entrepreneurship more frequent, and it also shows that the human entrepreneurship practice is good, but not very assured, of course, compared with the question with the answer about the quality outstanding to poor. Our respondent is Indonesian. 79.5% are business owner and the rest are employees. Regression analysis used to analyze the influence of multi-factors such as leadership, innovation, spirit, ethic, flexibility, continuous learning toward human entrepreneurship implementation. And also do partial analysis. And this is the composition of my questionnaire for human cycle and enterprise cycle. There are 6 questions about envisioning, enthusiasm 3 questions, and etc. etc. as you can see from my slide. Not so ideal, because if we see from this table, not balancing number of questions. Maybe for next research we can discuss about how many questions should we ask to respondent. And the questions is, for example, about envisioning. The indicator is inviting a discussion about the company future or sharing plan for business development. For detailed indicator for each dimension, I've already sent to you all. And this is the result. Always interesting discuss about the result, but I think right now it's not the good time to discuss more about the result. Just let you know. The leadership, the quality of human entrepreneurship implementation, of course, is depend on leadership as a key role. Leaders' capability will bring the envisioning and enthusiasm in the enterprise. Innovation spirit and ethics give very little portion to human entrepreneurship implementations. It is a leader's role perceived by member, not my matter. That's the leader issues. Flexibility give negative impact to quality of human entrepreneurship. This is really interesting for me when I found this founding. Flexibility in some level bring confusion, insecure, and finally drive to the passive behavior. So in the company need clear direction to increase self-efficacy of members. And the conclusions, empathy from leader to member and from member to leader together with equity can bring positive impact to the working life situations that bring self-efficacy to member to act and perform better. In the meanwhile, empowerment and enablement will produce an innovative learning spirit and growing member competency. By doing so, the organization climate will bring the awareness to change for every member of the organization of the enterprise. That's sharing my research, and this is the question for next discussions. First, we need to state the objective of measurement. We need to agree what kind of objective of measurement when we start to compose our standards. The frequency or the quality or both, or the existence only. The statement in the questionnaire should neutral, positive, or negative. We can discuss about it. The alternative response in questionnaire, it depends on the objective, of course. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. And this is my tag, human entrepreneurship bring value.
Okay, thank you.
Jan.
Okay, thank you for your interesting presentation, particularly about measurement. So as you see her presentation, the Candy is the same, the measurement is very different each other. So then we need to standardize our measurement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then have you ever read our measurement at the WhatsApp?
Not in detail.
Okay. So
Okay.
then the Dr. Lawrence, the Professor Lawrence is in charge of measurement and the operational definition. So the Dr. Lawrence, could you contact with her and could you get the advice from Dr. Lung? Actually, if we have a standardized measurement, we can establish a fair base for award. So, for example, the measurement score is higher than 70%. Actually, he is eligible to be awarded in the world. So then so now it's time to standardize our measurement.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
So then first, okay, the Dr. Lawrence. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if anyone is interested, just drop your email in the WhatsApp group and I'll add you to the SurveyMonkey link. Feel free to drop your comments or if there's anything that you think would be helpful to add to the current survey so we can possibly improve it. And it's going to be a good first step towards standardization as well.
So then actually we are going to write the one more SurveyMonkey, the questionnaire. Yeah. So based on our measurement, you can make the copy of our measurement.
Yes.
And then you can get the advice from Dr. Ram. You can contact with Bonawati. So yeah, please go ahead. And then this is really important. Yeah. Without the standardizing our measurement, you cannot say this is a humane entrepreneurship. Dr. Ram, do you have any idea? Okay, Sean? The measurement is very different. He's from academia.
For me, I think any kind of comment can only be derived from doing it. So once I, start in the organization and we see how people feel, how people respond, because sometimes language can also mean, different language and all that, right?
Yeah.
So let's do it. And let's see.
So in the beginning, let's make it very simple. Yeah. So only 3 questions. Yeah. So 5 questions is too many. So 3 questions for 1E for empathy study question, or you can recommend there. Okay. So then if you have the simpler question here, it's easy to get response from company. So then when we got the answer from company, actually you can find the level of humane entrepreneurship is high or low. Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, the Bonawati, actually you have homework. Yeah. Okay. We need to standardize the measurement more in detail. Yeah. Not only for academia but also mainly for business people. Yeah. So then Dr. Shan is the specialist. So he has a lot of consulting experience. We don't have any consulting experience. Just we led and we made a measurement. Dr. Lawrence have led a lot of articles, made the measurement. But this is good for the academia. But actually, the humane entrepreneurship is not for academia, but for the business people. So then please, I'd like to get your help with the measurement. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Kichan.
Okay. So
I'm
let's
ready.
okay.
Together collaboration with
Okay.
other experts.
Okay. So then Dr. Lawrence is going to contact with you very soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So any other question? Yeah.
Yes, Prof, I have just one curious
Okay.
question. I'm very new to this. It seems to me I'm with the Sean here. Yeah. The best place to start is the current practicing community. So I'm not sure have you identified already a cluster of your best in class? Which companies do you consider to be the benchmarks of humane entrepreneurship already?
In Korea, we have some cases there.
So I think then in the employees within those organizations would be the best source to tell you why they think their companies. I mean, that's my logic. Okay.
Yeah. Because we ask the employee to answer about the level of humane entrepreneurship.
Do they feel supported?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
How often does my boss seek my feedback?
That's right.
Those kinds of things.
So then you must be advised. Yeah.
Even when we did just one specific aspect of leadership intervention in our experience in Malaysia, even at the government level, we established a fixed schedule for top leaders to do problem solving. Right? So we measure how frequently they conduct their problem solving meetings.
Yeah.
Do they actually make decisions, yes or no? Just that one. But it varies from place to place. So I think if yours is human centered, so I think the employees would be the best source to tell us why they appreciate their leaders.
So then 선생님 혹시 comment 있을까요? Actually, always I am thinking Professor Bell is our leader for humane entrepreneurship theoretically. Actually, Professor Bell is leading entrepreneurship in Korea, I think.
Yeah, I think in Korea we have
Yeah, I think the idea of humane entrepreneurship started more than 10 years ago. So during the last 10 years, we did many things, but this is very small scale. Even in measurement, we already developed all the measurement, but the measurement was not, the rigorously tested. we just developed and based on the literatures. And also we have a very small kind of samples. Of course, we collect the other data from various countries, but maybe they did not sincerely initiation. So we try to just like a toy. We do many things. So now it's time. We really need very formal and more rigorous, and then the develop measure together. And also it should be tested, theoretically or so we need that kind of things based on collaboration. So all I think the measurement, in fact, we already published the all kind of measurement in Korean journal in English, not in the very top journal, because we need more theoretical background. We need more the test, etc. So anyway. Now the concept of human entrepreneurship is very well received by many scholars, practitioners, and then it's time to put together. And then there are the samples, and also even in the, I think we can take a survey from the various countries. So, and the very developed measure, we can develop all kind of possible question item, but based on the survey, and we can test, the real reliability test, eligibility test, etc. And with that kind of things, we can fix the sort of measurement. So if we fix the measure and then we share the measure together, then it will strengthen our theoretical, the foundation. And based on this, we can collect the data, we can share the data, and we can review and we can compare the result, etc. This is it. So the measurement, the practical application and measurement, these are most important things.
Okay, yeah.
Also, let me suggest one thing more, and then we just now study on the entrepreneurship, young entrepreneurship. We measure the young entrepreneurship now. Nowadays, we try to just in the area of the Gyeongnam province, for the usually most of the responses is the university students. So I want to hear just how about the expand to the Asian countries.
Youth entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's the young entrepreneurs. Young entrepreneurs. It's a human young entrepreneurs. So it is now we try to some measures,
Okay.
including.
Then you wanted to add some more humane entrepreneur questionnaire. And then
Yeah. And to here is where the Asian countries, the some China, Malaysia, or others. So Philippines. So we need to even first of all just we get together Asian countries, and then we expand to the more countries to the America or the US. Yeah.
So. Again, I'm showing my complete ignorance here. The purpose, yeah, I'm totally ignorant of this, but the purpose of this measurement is ultimately
for guideline of human entrepreneurs.
So
we are going to apply the guideline to get the certification of.
So if I as a company score low,
yeah,
then what does that mean?
Then you are not allowed it.
Not allowed
to be certified company for humane entrepreneurship in the future.
Okay, so and if I'm certified as a humane entrepreneur, what benefit does that bring?
Okay, so that is the question. Okay, so then we have the many statistical paper about the benefit of humane entrepreneurship. Actually, if you want to increase performance more, actually we can strongly recommend to apply humane entrepreneurship. So if you want to be certified humane entrepreneurship company, means actually we are going to improve the performance, and we are going to get more low engagement of employees. So then the virtual cycle, the high engagement and the higher innovation.
And this is a marketing benefit.
Not only marketing benefit, but also decent job creation. Yeah, it's important. So that's why United Nations are interested in, and the OECD is interested in the OECD or United Nations is interested in creating this standard with the humane entrepreneurship. The company are interested in improving performance with the humane entrepreneurship. So then the benefit is different, but the all things is good for.
Okay, so it will help me to attract investment, it will help me to grow my market.
But it's not about investment, I think.
Okay.
Okay. So then we need to show that by humane, it's not sacrifice the performance.
Mm.
Yeah. So then they are very motivated.
So for employee retention,
Yeah, for
employee
of course,
attraction,
of course,
recruitment,
of course.
okay, that
Actually,
is where
yeah,
we will come
yeah,
from,
yeah.
okay.
For example, I asked the KCCI to find the humane entrepreneurial company in its region. So five years ago, they announced which company is a very humane company in that area, because that means a lot of young generation, young talent wanted to apply for engagement.
Yeah.
So huge, impact here.
So now I see the link to Roger's work with Ernst & Young. So this goes into Best Employer Awards or Best CEO.
Yeah, so Ernst & Young is controlling, directing, making performance very quickly, but I don't know the virtual cycle. Any for example, the Steve Jobs. So he asked us how many committee we have at the Apple. How many committee do you think at the Apple? Zero. Because we have many committee means we are very bureaucratic. For example, university, actually, whenever something happens, we are going to establish a committee, take time, take 6 months, nothing happens. But so he said, we don't have any committee at the Apple. But this one person is in charge of marketing, one person is in charge of operation, one person is in charge of startup. So he said, Apple is the biggest startup company on the planet. So, but the all people are having meeting 3 hours a week to discuss about everything. So I think this is the more empathetic empowerment, enablement, like this.
Workplace quality.
Yeah, okay, that's there. So in Japan, there is a similar question. So they are calculating score. They have the 100 question. What university? Tokyo. Lawrence, can you remember? Tokyo famous university, right? The human centered management philosophy. So then they have 100 score, 100 questionnaire. They are Jose University. They are higher than, if the company is higher than 80%, then this is a great performance. So then this book is the 2 million bestseller. So like this, if you have the standardized questionnaire, you can answer, you can get the answer, and you can calculate, you can predict the performance. So then the lawyer, what do you think? Pro bono lawyer, he is a humane lawyer. You can apply this concept in Argentina. You can bring our idea to your country.
I was thinking that I can compromise myself to talk with my university.
Okay.
So maybe we can do a research or join
excellent.
this, because my university is
university where university?
It's not in the capital city. It's in the province in Córdoba. It's
okay.
It's a university who put the focus in business.
Okay.
So I think it's an opportunity to to speak to the authorities and see what can we do. Yeah. Yeah.
The reason I asked Prof the basic question is because similar to the ESG conversations people are having now, the motivation for companies to invest in ESG initiatives ultimately is still commercial. They want to get a better rating. They want to get a better access to funding from from ESG funds. They want to qualify. So I think similarly, this is my first engagement with you. That's why I'm wondering, how do I motivate a company owner to want to transform his company into a more humane if there's no tangible commercial benefit? From an employee attraction, employee retention perspective, definitely I see the link. Having a high score enables me to attract the best graduates or whatever. They want to work with me because you have a innovative, empathetic work environment and all those kind of things.
She is worried about washing.
Yeah. So
something.
But if I'm the chairman of a company or the CEO, I'm still accountable to my stockholders.
So actually the case is very important. For example, when I became the advisor of a company, actually I asked the CEO to apply humane entrepreneurship. So in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, then the performance is getting better. Then they are investing more for humane entrepreneurship. So this is if we have the best case, best practice, easy to diffuse.
So there needs to be a correlation between the business outcome and your humane entrepreneurship practices. I think that's the core of your measurement here. We have this same challenge in all this transformational work that people are doing here. How can you claim? How do you correlate your work with leadership with the business results of the
difference between ESG and humane entrepreneurship? ESG the organization is pursuing their money, their own money, right? Correct? Yeah. So then you can say the ESG was
not ESG.
But actually, I think we are not pursuing the money. Yeah. So, easy to communicate. Okay. Colleague, what do you think? What was? Okay. Okay. The final you are the answer. You have answer. Yeah. Okay.
Because I think it's like the brainstorming. So because during the whole day you listen to the different perspective and insights from different experts. So I think regarding of the human entrepreneurship, we can have a lot of topic to explore in the future. And because other we should to move forward step by step, we cannot to solve all the concern and all the challenges in one document. So my suggestion is the first step we can consider to develop a guidance on the human entrepreneurship, just to explain the 10E model, and to use the structure is what, why, and how. So it's simple. So this is the first one. So after that, according to my appearance in ISO, before when we develop some the guideline standard, then the second one we will do the technical report is called use case or good practice. And for example, I remember this morning Professor Pei also to share some of the cases. So we can call for cases, we can analyze cases, and to analyze this good practice, this company how they adopt the methodology of the 10E model. So this is the second. And the third is, and I also remember the Indonesia professor to talk about the measurement. Yes, because if we have a measurement, we can think about the indicator. What indicator we can use? So if we can have the indicator to measure the maturity, we can put the maturity of the human entrepreneurship, and then for the company they can do the internal report, maybe not for external, only to internal to improve themselves. But maybe in the future, and we also can encourage, just like in the future, just like the ESG could be the external reports. So I think in the future, maybe the company, when they do the internal assessment, they find their maturity of the human entrepreneurship is very good. So I think they would happy to disclose their report. So that could be supplemented supplement to the ESG or something like. So actually, I know for now in United States and in Japan, now the stock market, the exchange stock market, they required the list company to disclose their human capital reports. So in ISO, there is a standard is internal and external report on human capital. Yeah. So I think maybe in the future, maybe this is not driven by the financial market, but it is self-driven by the company. They put to internal and external report the human entrepreneurship. And in the future, we also can think about because in the human resource management, we know a lot of companies they wanted to say, okay, I'm the employer brand. So I think in the future, maybe you can to find is there any connection between the human entrepreneurship with the employer brand. So I think employer brand is also driven, yeah, for some company, yeah. But we can because now I know a lot of the in different countries, some of the human resource management association or some of the media or magazine, they will do the assessment to give award to a company. You are the
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think that there's no the universal criteria so we can follow. So I think maybe the human entrepreneurship or at least tiny model, if we have some of the indicator to assess that can be compared. So for example, in China, I know in China some of the not for the government, not for association, only for the magazine, human resource magazine, they award top 100 employee brand in China, and maybe Malaysia they have, but we cannot compare because we don't use the same methodology, we don't use the same assessment team. So I think that is another potential value for the company to adopt the human entrepreneurship. And another thing is in the future, because when we to do the deep research on the 10E model, each E we can have some of the deep research. For example, just now I find the Dr. Sam from the Malaysia, you mentioned some of the coaching facilitator, and because I just finished the meeting from Milano. That meeting is from ISO. ISO has a committee on the education and learning services. Yeah, so that is very connected with your topic. Yeah, so I also think what's the connection between the education and learning services with the human entrepreneurship? Because you know the one function of the human resource management that is the training and development. Yeah, that's the TND. That is the one function of the human resource management. So we can to think about some of the more details. So my suggestion is step by step. We cannot solve all the problem. If we solve a problem, maybe another 5 years passed. Yeah. So that's why we hope in this year. Yeah, because this morning I explained the history, background of this project. Yeah, we have discussing for this topic to be the standard from the year 2018. So 7 years passed already. So we need to continue to wait. But if we can have a small consensus on the first one, okay, we just a consensus, so we can publish the first one. Then we can do the case study. Then we can do the indicator, and then the number. The step 4 is we can do the internal and external report. Yes. So I think, for example, in the future, how to do the internal and external report on the human resource management. Maybe we can give them some templates. Yeah, if you have a template that can be compared. So that's our number 4. So we can step 7. And number 5, step 5 is we can do the deep research on each E. How to do the empowerment, enable each element. We can do the further study. Yeah. So I think because we plan to publish the guidelines in the end of August, so we hope after this meeting, And because I know Professor Bei, yes, because he's very familiar with this area and have done a lot of research. So when I read the slides prepared by Professor Bei, I find this a very good structure and enough input to draft the first working draft for that. So we will hope, but some other experts also have good insight and input. So my suggestion is because now is the end of the March, so we hope we can to have the first working draft in the end of the April. So it's 1 month. After that, we circulate this working draft to the stakeholder to call for comments. The comments would be the general comments, technical comments, and technical comments. And then the next meeting, maybe not in person, it will be virtual because my experience in ISO, so we can to dispose the comments one by one. And then we can reach consensus into the second version of working draft. If we find that there's still some controversial issue, we can to circulate the second working draft and to call for comments for another 1 month, and we collected all the comments and we dispose again. It's disposition of all the comments again. Then that will be the final one. And the final one we will do the grammatical check and and then we were to finalize the initial version. After finalize the initial version, and we were to do the translation. So I'm happy that we have a lawyer in Argentina. Because before I think who can help us to translate into Spanish? Yes. So if we follow this step, I'm sure we can finish the first one in the end of August. Yeah, this is my suggestion.
Oh, very good idea. What do you think? Actually the Zhang is the person who has many experience to make standard. Yeah. So then you need to follow his advice. I think. Yeah. What the actually, if we all agree with it, then how to finalize and our discussion in the end of this month.
Finalize.
Means that we need to make the first version of
because we need to prepare the first draft. But I think my experience, if you want to finish a great task, maybe few people, not so many people.
Okay.
Yeah. So I propose, if possible, Professor Bei to be the leader also. Yeah. And if some other people have interesting, you can raise your hand and join. So not a very big group, or small group.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember the 5 years ago when we were proposing ISO, we have a draft already. Yeah.
Okay.
But now we 5 years passed, and we have the new idea, new explanation on the tiny model. We should to improve that. So actually, now if we want to create the first working draft, is not from zero because we have the foundation already. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the professor maybe is good at writing the paper. Yeah. But my team is familiar with the language of standards, so we can to help to transform the paper language into standard language. So yeah. So that's why we can do. I suggest if we should continue to discuss not brainstorm next time. We will focus on working draft. Other working draft is better. We will circulate to the stakeholder and public for comments for the 4 weeks. 4 weeks, and we have the comment templates. And if you because we will mark the line for each sentence, so you can to make comments. What's the general comments or technical comments or empirical comments? Then we collect comments and we will discuss it. We use the online meeting discuss it.
Then based on your experience, you can make a leader for our final project.
Yes. We can do that.
Okay, you can lead
that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we can to adjust the sentence into the more like the standard language. But in the end, because we have the 2 round circulation for colloquial comments, but in the end, before publication, we can to request the native English speaker. So I think Sam is a native speaker, and but we also can ask Eamon from the United States to read. Hey, is this language? Is the English language? Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
If we have the first version of our consensus, it's easy to make more progress, I think, yeah. But he is expert to standardization.
Yeah, so I think if today's expert have no objection, and I can ask my colleague Kelly to write a minute, yeah, and we can to share you the schedule,
Okay.
and then we can follow schedule.
And Kelly is a secretary general of our
Yeah,
working
secretary
group.
for this
Wow.
project, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So what's the button?
Just one sentence added, because Jack mentioned the big frame of how we push forward our human entrepreneurship series standards, but at least to work the past one better and more efficient. Maybe we should come to a common sense today, and the past one maybe more focus on the guidance, yes, and on the 10E model and how employment what. So that's better to focus more about this guidance on the paperwork is better. And of course, we can do the cases study like TR, technical report, and like we mentioned yesterday, the talk about how the 10E model like implement in different cultural differences. That would be the latter story. But for now, let's focus on the guidance on 10E. Can we come to the like common?
Yes, so I think the guidelines for the 10E model, because we have 10E already, we can consider 10E. But so under the each E, we have the what, why, and how. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
but we can have the human entrepreneurship series standard, but for past one, can we?
No, yeah, we have a what, why, and how. So this
Yes.
structure,
Yes.
because we have some of the other item standards.
So, yes, I think it can be either common sense.
Yes,
that
yes,
we
so
can
that
do
is the
so.
first of all.
Yes.
So but just now you remind me, in the future, we can also have
Serious stuff.
some of the series.
Yes.
So for example, I think for the human entrepreneurship, if implemented in a large organization and or in the small business, there will be some slight difference. Yeah, so, but we will not consider now, we will just to explain what is the 10E model, but in the future, we can think about the guidelines for implementation of human resource management in large organization, guidelines for in small business. So we can we can to create some checklist.
Okay.
Yeah, that checklist is very easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also the measurement part is one
Yeah.
of our serious standards.
Yes, and I think because of the human entrepreneurship maybe not only can use in the commercial organization, but I think for some NGO also can use that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we can put a non-professional, a non-profit organization or the public organization also can use that. Yeah.
All organizations have their KPIs.
Yeah.
So just need to, I'm just thinking how we link this work to those existing KPIs. And
Yes.
how do we isolate improvements due to human entrepreneurship innovations versus the improvements that are just baseline improvements, right? There are companies already growing even without being humane.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
They have a baseline growth rate. How do I isolate that from the actual measurement? Any form of our experience in our consulting work always is that every time we advocate some form of transformation, this question always comes up from the stakeholders. Even if I didn't do anything, I was already growing. You know, so what real difference did you make? How can I compartmentalize this practice change? If I didn't do anything, I was growing at 5% a year. If I change my practice and I become a high performing HE organization, my growth rate suddenly goes to 10. You know, but that difference from 5 to 10 is the one that people are looking at. You know, I'm just looking at the bigger picture to see
Yeah.
how to.
Yes, so I think my suggestion is, so besides, we can develop our salary standard, but we also need to consider about, to contribute the ideal concept of human entrepreneurship into the other project. So for example, as you mentioned KPI, and now ISO, they are developing a standard on the human resource management, the performance management guidelines. And I'm leader, I'm convener for this project. So, but actually, we are just, we launched the first working draft. So we also can circulate it to our experts, and we can think how can we to insert the concept inside, maybe only one sentence is okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that means, and also, for example, ISO now they are developing some standard related to ESG. We also can think about, can we to put some of the idea into EC document, or because if we now, just I mentioned, because we are developing our past one now, and we also can put our document as a bibliography to the ISO standard. That is another integration. Yeah. So I think your idea is great. So besides we create our idea, we also need to consider about how to integrate our concept into some other documents. Yeah.
Yes.
Even even the city governance model. For example, in Korea, more than 100 city in Korea. So I can ask to apply the.
Yes. So I remember in the morning when Professor Bay present his slides, he has the two levels. One is the firms, another is country. Yeah. So it's country, but actually, so we also can have the city level. Yeah. So we can have country level, city level. So for example, the IMD from Switzerland, the area that published the national competitive index. Yeah. So if we have the common methodology in the future, we also can publish the
country report.
Country report or city report.
That's
yeah.
right.
So for example, the Jinju is
yeah.
from in Korea support the human entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So I think if more and more the city they support this idea, we can do the comparison.
Yeah.
And actually I think now all the city want to attract investment. Yeah. So attract investment. So I think that is a good story.
Exactly.
At least it could be a good story. Yeah. To attract the foreign investment.
This is the incentive.
Yeah.
That's one of incentive. Yeah.
I like it, your what Jack, the guidance you gave to Kelly just now is the correct one. I think if we start looking at this at the individual level, you'll find it much easier.
Yeah.
There are some of those E's are very easy to measure.
Yes. Yeah.
Some are less.
Yes. Yeah.
So I suggest you just choose the easiest E and start getting those small wins, and then you can publish more and more guidelines over time.
Yes.
Right. But you can start with the easiest E.
Yes.
In the old manufacturing days that Shan mentioned just now, when we were supervisors and all that kind of stuff, our companies were having competitions for suggestions, right? Everybody measure how many suggestions per employee you were getting. Just having a system that satisfies one of the E's already. The employee engagement part, right? You have a suggestion system.
Yes, and in addition, according to the current concept of the human entrepreneurship, and it has a close link with the human resource management and also the innovation management. And actually, in ISO, there are already the committee on the human resource management and the innovation management. And this morning I have explained because the OTCCN has established the partnership with ISO. So next we will also, if today's expert have used team, we also can nominate you as the liaison person from the OTCN to the ISO committee on the human resource management and innovation management. So you can monitor what they are having, in ISO level, and we can to know the update from the international standardization of human management and the language management.
That's great. Yeah, makes sense, yeah. There are some low hanging fruits already. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other comment?
Kichan,
Okay, you have an idea?
yes.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you just a moment. Okay, yeah.
Yes, I monitor our discussions
Okay.
and maybe the first questions from this morning until now is how we measure human entrepreneurship practice.
Just a
If we
moment, just a moment,
compare-
just a moment.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. If
Go
we
ahead.
compare with the ISO standardizations, there are some people who acting as an auditor internally and also externally before they got ISO certifications. And when they got the certifications in the company, they will choose somebody become the management team and also internal audit who will monitor the practice of standard. So for us, I think we need to agree how we measure. Is it from the auditor or from the employee or from the management team? The answer is, or the measurement come from. If we take a look the 2 cycle of human entrepreneurship, maybe we need to develop some kind and for example envisioning how the leader share the ideas. The internal team can do some self-assessment. Okay, we have once a year, for example. So we need to develop the measurement. I think what we discussed since morning until now, we focus on the academic. So we need to develop a new indicators for measure human entrepreneurship practice better. So I think maybe some of us can develop more detail. I have tried once, but I think that's the indicator for research, not for scoring the human entrepreneurship practice from the management point of view, but more focused from the employee. So if we need to ask the management to do self-assessment, maybe the indicator must develop differently. That's from my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, you can consider, yeah.
Just now, actually, I have mentioned one thing is first of all, we can consider about the indicator. Yeah, indicator is for the measurement. For the assessment would be the internal assessment and the third party assessment. And if we use the third party assessment, we need to consider about the competence for the auditor. And auditor to do the auditing the data. So that's why after I joined the whole today's meeting and what I get is I find that we can do a lot of things on the human entrepreneurship. Yeah. So now it's just the starting point. Yeah, we can do a lot of things. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So then I think we had enough discussion for the future, I think, and we agreed the progress. So then the final thing is making the first draft.
First working draft.
Yeah, first working draft
Yeah.
is done by the end of April.
Yeah, April. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. and after meeting, I will ask Kevin. Okay, yeah, to provide more support information. Yeah.
Okay, so you are expert for the standardization. Yeah, we don't know any the progress that. It's a very good idea to circulate to them and then get consensus and then easy to talk with the stakeholders.
Yeah. We call for comments and
Yeah.
then we collected the
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah.
Into one document and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
dispose the comments
Yeah.
one by one.
Yeah. We had this kind of progress for the final. Final draft. Okay.
So it's the benchmark. So I think because we were have the first week draft in the end of April and we will circulate the first week draft for 4 weeks.
Okay.
So I think the next meeting I think that will be in the June. Yeah, we will have not later.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So. Thank you very much. Okay, so then the.
But I have another suggestion. So
Okay.
because when we develop this part is not only for academic research. Yeah, we were to promote our idea. So we also need to consider about to think about our marketing campaign. Yeah. So because I mentioned because my background is from marketing sector, so I will consider about the branding and marketing. In the in this month or last month, yeah, Professor Kim has established the entrepreneurship for the Entrepreneurship Center in the Harvard University. Yeah, you have but I have no logo, so there's no brand. Yeah, so we also can consider about should we to design a brand, a logo for the entrepreneurship. And secondly, because we are also use the social media, so we can use the LinkedIn, we can use the hashtag, HUMENT, hashtag to promote. Yes, because yesterday I also used LinkedIn to search the human entrepreneurship. I cannot find a lot of articles from LinkedIn, so we need to do. Yeah. So I think I also request some my secretary Kelly to give some suggestion for communication because her education background is from a master degree on the communication.
You are also the president of Asian.
Yes, I remember marketing and I'm marketing and her background is the communication.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So then I think you can finalize our discussion if you don't mind. Okay, yeah. So then we are going to have one more discussion if we need by online.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. The start the discussion here. And what do you do? Do you have time for the quick dinner or here or anyone who is available quick dinner together with us? Okay, then let us know. We are going to have the dinner time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then you're finished. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. We finished.
Thank you, Kitchen.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Prof.
See
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.